You can start by being more assertive in a controlled manner. Well, this is a good follow-up question from the last one. What are you mad about? Write it down, and like be kind of comprehensive about it, or maybe talk to a friend. I would say write it down, but you can talk to a friend. Write down everything that makes you angry, and you're going to think, well, some of those things that make me angry are stupid. It's like, yeah, probably. That's not the question here. We're not trying to figure out if you're reasonable or not. Of course you're not, because who is? So you're not. So write down everything that makes you angry. Okay, so what'll happen then? You have a comprehensive list of what makes you angry, and the first thing that you'll figure out is that some of those things just shouldn't make you angry. It's like time to grow the hell up, and get over that. But then there's other things on there, and maybe you can talk to someone about that. You think, well, this makes me angry, should it? You talk to someone, they say, no, you should, that's you. You should just grow up. But, so maybe that's 10% of the things that make you angry is just because you're undisciplined. But then there'll be some other things that make you angry because you're being taken advantage of, or you're allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, or you're taking advantage of yourself, or you're not objecting when someone else is asking you to do something you don't really want. Like there's something going on. And so with those things, you figure, well, what would you rather have? Like if you could have what you wanted that wasn't making you angry, what would it be? And so now you know what you want. Well, then you think, well, let's take one of those things that I want and see if I can ask for it. Maybe it's like the person who asked this question, the woman who asked this previous question. Maybe she has to go to her husband and say, look, I need you to spend 15 minutes after dinner with the kids so I can, be alone. Would you do it for 15 minutes? Or 10 minutes, or would you do it for 10 minutes like 3 times a week? You have to negotiate. What's the other person willing to do? You need to know what you want and need, and then you need to communicate it to them, and then you need to negotiate a solution. And that's how you get more assertive. And you start small. You get more assertive by telling the truth, right? That's how. It's like, I'm irritated and annoyed that this isn't happening, and here's something that you could conceivably offer me, and this is what I'm willing to do in return, and could we see if that works? And what's the benefit to them is, well, you're not miserable and passive-aggressive then, It's not like your partner isn't going to gain from your increment in assertiveness. It's not a zero-sum game. You could both gain, like, truly, because wouldn't it be a lovely marriage if your wife could ask you what she wanted and you could deliver, and you could ask her what you wanted and she'd deliver, and both of you were happy about that. Like, that could happen. Not always and in every situation, but you can get a long way down that road if you're careful, So tell the truth about what you're angry about, but also tell the truth to yourself about what you want, and then start with little negotiations in that direction, and you'll get better and better at it. It's really worth doing, because otherwise you carry around all that resentment, and that's horrible. That's no way to live. It makes you sick, and makes everyone around you sick, and it makes you old, and makes life miserable. And so that's another thing to think through, because you think, well, I'm afraid to say what I want. It's like, fair enough. Who isn't? How afraid are you of not saying what you want? Well, I'm used to that. Well, that doesn't mean it isn't horrible. You're just not accounting that as a risk. You should. There is the risk of saying what you need, but there's the risk of not saying what you need. And if you have to pick between those two risks, man, pick saying. So then at least you have a chance, and so does your partner. So, lots of marriages, you see this with people. The one person is deeply unhappy and angry, and the other person really has no idea why. Now, they may have, done what they could to remain blind to the problem. But often, they just don't, the other person just has never told them, here's what's wrong and here's what I want. They expect them to know or something, and people just don't. They're just not that bright, It's like, you'd know if you loved me. You'd know what I needed if you loved me. I bet, how many of you have said that? It's like, you should have your lips sewn together if you say that. Because the right response to that is, no, I'm stupid. You have no idea. I'm so stupid I married you. And so, how much do you think you can expect from me? I can barely do what you tell me to do, much less guess what it's supposed to be. So, like, give me a break and tell me what I can do badly that might be vaguely pleasing to you. That's a good approach. You know, if I've approached Tabby and I say, look, I'm really stupid and I mean it, and I'm amazed you put up with me, and because I sure can't figure out why you would, and if you tell me what you want in some way that I can manage it, and you let me try it out stupidly and badly for a while, I might be willing to give it a shot. What do you think? And usually she'll tell me something I can do, and vice versa. And usually it works, if we allow ourselves also that opportunity to practice it stupidly for a while. You know, because maybe you want your partner to say they love you, you know, now and then, whenever that is. And so then you think, okay, how often? How often? Every day? Well, that'll get a little old. Well, once a week. Okay, once a week. How about Monday? I know you think that's funny, you know, but maybe if you got it right, someone would tell you they loved you once a week for the rest of your life. And mean it. And maybe that would be better than not having it at all. So you think, well, Monday, you come home from work. Well, that's a bit formulaic. It's like, yeah, well, and how about some flowers along with it? It's like, well, then how about once every 2 weeks? Okay, deal. And you think, well, that's kind of, like I said, it's formulaic, it's not spontaneous, it's sort of rote. Here's some flowers, I love you. It's
Thank
like,
you.
Well, could you be right, that's right, man. I had this friend, he bought his wife flowers. It took him 3 days to convince her that he bought them. That's not the right response. I got some flowers for you. No, you didn't.